what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make Minnie Mouse's Clubhouse. So, Minnie Mouse doesn't officially have a clubhouse. Mickey has one. I thought it was only right to build Minnie one as well. Seems fair to me. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button as it really helps me and the channel out loads and loads and loads. And if you make it all the way to the end of the video, please do remember to share the video with a friend. Make it to the end, share the video with a friend. Sharing is caring. And if you would like to make the original Clubhouse, if you haven't came across it, I'll be leaving a link to that in both the card system and the description below just in case you haven't seen it and you want both of them next to each other. Without any further ado, let's get started. So before we begin building, here are all of the materials that we are going to need to make the clubhouse. Please make sure that you have access to every single one of those. And make sure that you have enough of them as well. Some of them you'll need a lot. I would highly recommend making this grid in your world that I have laid out right here. This is a 25 by a 33 block area. This will allow you to make the clubhouse, but you will need extra space for the surrounding area, the big yellow circle that you'll have seen at the start of the video. This only covers the clubhouse, as you might not want to make the circle. It depends how and where you're building this. So feel free to make this grid, it's up to you. And that is everything, ladies and gentlemen. Pause the video if you have to, make sure that you've got all that stuff, make sure that you've got enough room to make it, and then once all of those things are sorted out, we can begin. So I'm going to start off by coming to the front left-hand corner of our grid. If you've not made the grid, it's not a big deal, just hang in here just a second. Count to the right of the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the starting point. Place a row of 7 pink concrete going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then from this 7th block, place a back right pink concrete. Go right by 1. And then place 3 back right pink concretes. 1, 2, 3. Take the last one and move up by 1. Then place a back right pink concrete. Go up by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a back left pink concrete. Go up by 1. Then place 3 back left pink concretes. 1, 2, 3. Then go left 1. Place a back left pink concrete. Go left by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a front left pink concrete. Go left by 1. Then place 3 front left pink concretes. That's 1, 2, 3. Come down 1. Place a front left pink concrete. Come down by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a front right pink concrete. Come down 1. Then place 3 front right pink concretes. 1, 2, 3. Go right by 1 to connect together. And you should find that we have a perfect circle. And we have also had a mole attack because that looks like a mole hole. Anyway, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to raise up all of these pink concretes by 4. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want to go all the way around and we want to add pink concretes on top of these pre-existing pink concretes. The only thing about this is later on, if you're trying to conserve the amount of pink concrete that you have, because you might be building this in survival, you might want to, as we are going around this build, place some white concretes in your pink concrete rows, like this. Just make it nice and random. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. But as you are building the rows, it's up to you whether you want to do this. It depends on whether or not you're trying to save blocks. Personally, I find it easier to add small details like this after the fact. But if you are trying to save the amount of pink concrete that you have, then you are going to want to place some white concrete as you go along, because we're going to have to do this anyway. Minnie Mouse, as you know, or might not know, I hope you know, Minnie Mouse is pretty iconic, but she has a pink dress, and the pink dress is polka dots, and it's basically just loads of white spots around the dress, and that's all we're doing by adding these pink dots. They're completely random. I wouldn't place them too close together, but you can kind of use whatever method you like and whatever method you're comfortable with. We are going to have to do this later on anyway, and I myself, whilst I'm going around, I think I am going to add some now, because it's a lot of detail to add just all in one go later, but you know, add one high, then kind of move along a little bit, add one low, and then maybe like put one in the middle as you go along, you know, kind of follow, maybe lay out some sort of pattern for yourself, something like that. You don't have to add loads of them either, and if you don't want to, you don't even have to add them at all. That's completely up to you. It depends what sort of level of detail you want to go with. However, I will tell you that I do think, having seen both, obviously, because I've made this before, I do think it looks better with them. Certainly does, in my opinion. And you gotta be careful, just as I did there, not to place them all too close together. So something like that looks pretty good. If we come around the side, I think that we're gonna add some now as well. It's sometimes, depending, you've got to make sure it looks good above everything else, because on certain parts of this, like if you spread them a little too far out, it almost looks like Minnie Mouse, the clubhouse kind of has like some sort of disease or something. So you know, it's kind of like a perfect, you got to strike a balance with it. But I think we've just got to do this back corner as well, and just add them as you go along. You know, you don't have to do it perfectly, and as I say, you don't have to do it at all if you don't want to, but something like that looks really, really good. And you might have noticed that I have neglected the front a little bit, and there's a good reason for that. On the front of this, we have to add in windows. Beginning from the front bottom left corner of the front of this, you come up diagonally inwards to the right by 1, destroy this block, to the right, destroy above, take the top right corner, destroy above that, leave a gap of 1 going right, destroy, go down by 2, and destroy the bottom 2 blocks going right. So we're looking for this sort of shape, and we're even going to fill it in using a bit of white glass block. You can use paint if you're so inclined. And then around this, we're also going to add in some polka dots as well, just wherever I see fit, wherever they might go. I might even make it symmetrical, kind of like this. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So now, if you take a look at it, it's just nicer to look at, in my opinion. So we have to build up the base of the clubhouse a little bit, and the way that we're going to do this is on each one of the 4 sides, we have a long row of 7 pink/white concrete now. You place a row of 7 pink concrete up, inward and above the 4 rows of pink concrete that you have on the sides of your build like this. So you want to have a row of pink concrete coming up and inwards from each one of the 4 long sides. Just as I'm doing now. Just like this, come across. Add 2 rows on top of each of these, so on every single side just add 2 rows. And once again, you can polka dot these as you're building them, but I think I'm going to get the shape down first. So 2 rows of pink on top, just like this, every single one of these. There, and there, like that. We then have to add another row of pink concrete above and inside of each of these 4 long rows. So just above and coming inwards. This is helping to build the shape. It's kind of like a dome, the base of the clubhouse, and that is what we are trying to do. It's quite a nice shape once it's done. I want you to add another row of pink coming up and inwards from the single row of pink. This row of pink, however, will be different because you want to add 2 rows coming inwards from it. So like 1 and 2. So like from a side profile, you can kind of see how it's coming up and in. This row of pink is going to touch at the corners. So after this, we only have one layer to add into the middle, and then we'll be able to make the top of the clubhouse, which is of course Minnie's head, and we'll add some more details to the base of the clubhouse. There's the entrance that we've got to do. We've got lots of fun things to do, ladies and gentlemen. I love making these clubhouses. They're it's nice to make them. They've got some nice clear steps laid out. So that's kind of how it should be looking. Now you see it all connects together in the middle, and then to finish this off, simply place a layer of pink concrete that goes above and inside of the layer of empty space that we have at the top of the build. So pink concrete just sat directly on top of it, a huge large slab of pink, just like that. Nice and simple. So we just have to fill in the sides now. The sides are fairly easy to add in as well. So on each one of the 4 sides, you want to place a layer of pink concrete that just sits above and inside of the shape that we have on the corners, kind of like this, right? It just sits laid in. It kind of looks like a W or a boomerang. And we're going to add 2 more layers on top of all of these pink concretes. And then we want to fill in the middle part with a layer of pink that just sits above the empty space. So you can see how we reached that shape right there. And we've just got to do it 3 more times. So we can get quite quick at this. You simply place a single layer of pink above and inside of the empty space here. You add 2 rows on top, just like this. And then you place a layer of pink that just sits above and inside of the space, just like that. And we're going to do this on the other 2 sides as well. And this time I'm going to speed things up a little bit, because I'm sure now that we've done it a couple of times, you guys are going to have no problem copying this whatsoever. So let's just get this done. Fill this in. Got 1 more to do after this. I'm considering rounding the shape a little bit at the top. Although I'm also tempted not to touch the shape whatsoever, because it's a pretty decent looking shape. It's kind of hard to make a dome in this sort of way that's really circular. So what I was thinking of doing was just adding a couple of blocks like that, just in the corner. It does actually look alright like that. So I'll tell you what, if you're so inclined, you can add those same blocks if you want, just like in the corners. It's like this. It's like 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's not bad. So what we'll end up with, and where's the front? Where is the front of this build? Here we go. We're all the way over here. So we will end up with something that should look exactly like that, which is really cool. I love that. So I'm going to add some white concretes now. Again, like I say, it's completely up to you how many of these you want to add. If you want to add them all, I'd highly recommend it. I wouldn't leave it. It's a bit of detail. It's kind of annoying to place them, but it does make this thing look so much cooler. It really does. Like it does just add a really nice bit of detail to the build. You don't have to like go full on like OCD crazy adding them all in specifically, you know. Just knock out a few blocks, add in some white concretes, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm not trying to get a pattern going or anything like that. I just want to see some white speckles all the way around as I look around the clubhouse. That's pretty much all of it, and it doesn't even take too long either. I mean, you'll get to the point here where, just like me, you know, you've kind of just added them all in. Might add a couple around the top as well, just like laid into the top of the clubhouse, just like this. Just to further add a little bit of detail, that's fine. Maybe around here as well, just around the top. Can add a couple in there because that's actually going to be covered up by Minnie's head. And, you know, just something like that. That'll look just fine. So, now that we have done that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that the next thing we're going to do is the entrance to the clubhouse. I want you to locate the right side of the clubhouse. The right side. I want you to find this block on the right side, the bottom left-hand corner coming towards the front, this side. I want you to then count to the right by 1, 2, right here. We're going to place a black concrete 2 on top. Extend the row towards us by 2 rows. 1, 2. Extend all of these. You take that last block at the top and you extend it up, right, up. Place an upright black concrete diagonal. And then place 2 on top. 1, 2, like that. And then we're going to come to this opposite side and 1 row away, leaving a gap of 1. So just a gap of 1. I want you to do the same. So we're going to use the same black concrete and I want you to create the same shape that we just made. I'm sure that you'll be able to do that no problem. You see there's just 1 row between and I'm going to just smash that white concrete right there. Then we're going to place a layer of black concrete that basically it just sits up and above all of the black concrete that we've just placed, like just on the outside of it like that, right? If that makes sense. I'm sure that does. I bet that you guys will be able to do that no problem. Now, once you have done that, we have to place a shoe, and we're going to be using magenta concrete for this one. So in this position specifically, coming out and back from the side of the foot or the ankle, I want you to place a magenta concrete and go left of it by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go up on top of this block by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I then want you to go right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Like this. Which will give us this shape. I want you to fill this in. So basically just filling in around the black concrete. Don't cover up any black concrete. You just want to have this sort of shape right here. And it's a bit of a funky shape. Come to the opposite side of the foot and do the same. So we start from here and we simply place a magenta concrete. We go right by 4. We go up and match the height to the opposite side there. Go left by 1, 2, 3. And then we just fill in this shape in the middle, alright? As easy as that. Just like that. So those are the rows that we're looking for. We then want to connect them together. So at the top of the build here, I want you to place a magenta concrete coming inwards from both sides, up and inwards. Extend the magenta concretes up, connect them together, and extend the shape coming across the top of the build like this. So now we just have to fill the top of the shoe in a little bit, and we may even shape this a little bit better. So I might knock this corner off here, knock that corner off. We have to place a white concrete right here on top of this black concrete. Then we're going to place a pink concrete up left diagonal, up right diagonal, bottom right, bottom left, like that. And then we're just going to fill in between here black concrete, because that is Minnie Mouse's foot. And you can see here that that's the shoe. It's quite a nice shape. She has a flower on the tip of the shoe. And all we have to do is make the heel. She, for some reason, I don't know why, wears heels. So, wouldn't be my choice if I was a mouse. There's got to be better options. They're probably quite hard to find. So, I'm going to use magenta concrete, and I'm going to completely fill in this shape that we have here, one row outside of the shape. Meaning, I just want to create a layer of magenta concrete that just sits snugly on the outside of this big empty space. Just like that, right? Easy as that. I'm going to place a door in the middle, right here. Door in the middle of the empty space. It will sit one block outwards from it. Place magenta concrete all the way around the door like this. Open the door. Destroy. Move through, destroy. This is the center of the clubhouse. We can come back out now And that is the entrance fully complete. It looks really cool. It's one of my favorite parts. I don't know why, because I think I quite managed to capture the shape of the foot, and it was kind of hard to do, to be completely honest with you. But we have the lower part of the clubhouse made now, guys. You know, you've done a huge part of this, and, you know, take a second. Well done. Okay, next we have to make the top of the clubhouse. One of the more important parts, as it is the head. So I want you to grab your black concrete and head to the top of the clubhouse. I want you looking from front to back. Find the middle of the top on the front, so this block right here. I want you to move back one, place a black concrete, extend that black concrete left, place a black concrete up and behind, place 2 coming back, up and right, 2 going right, front and right, 2 coming down, front and left, to create a circle of sorts. Add 2 rows of black on top, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, so on and so forth, on top of the shape that we've made. This is the neck. This is going to be the starting point for the head, just like that. Then, I want you to, on the left side of this, pick any one of the black concrete blocks. I'm going with the middle. And from this black concrete block, I want you to place an up left diagonal black concrete. I think I destroyed the original. Then from here, I want you to place an up left diagonal black concrete. Go left 1. Place 2 up left diagonals. 1, 2. Go up 1. Place an up left diagonal. Go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place an up right diagonal and go up 1. Place 2 up right diagonals. 1, 2. Go right 1. Place an upright diagonal and go right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a bottom right diagonal, go right 1. Place 2 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2. Go down 1. Place a bottom right diagonal and go down by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a bottom left diagonal and go down by 1. Place 2 bottom left diagonals. 1, 2. Go left 1, place a bottom left diagonal. This is the shape that we should end up with. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is perfect. So once you have that shape, we are now going to turn it 3D. Yep. So what I want you to do is, if you started in the middle like I did, the head is about, without any more layers, 7 rows thick, which means we have to go 1, 2, 3. The head should overhang the front, and coming back 1, 2, 3, the head should overhang the back by 1 row like this. But all we're doing is now we're going to take all of this and we're going to add 3 layers on the front, 3 layers on the back, and this is going to be the middle of the head. This is a very boring part of the tutorial, but I think I'll hang in here with you. So, there's really no easy way to place these blocks, unfortunately. And by the way, you will also want to just connect them together at the bottom, just like this. You know, just do a straight line, just connecting at the bottom like that. Just make sure that everything's all hunky-dory, and make sure that everything... Here we go. Just make sure that everything's in line. I mean, even if you were to place an extra row, or perhaps, you know, one less, it wouldn't look as bad if you did the same consistently for the front and the back. So, you know, just make sure that you get those 3 rows. It just has to overhang the neck by 1 row. It's easy. It's an easy thing to mess up, but I think that is the front, and you can see it does make quite a difference, right, as you get down towards the bottom. And then as we come to the back, of course, we want to do the same thing. So just wants to overhang the back like this. And do make sure that it connects at the bottom. That's very, very important too, because it's important for the shape of the head. The way that we're going to add layers to the head is we are going to use the shape that we already have. And that means that it's very important to make sure that we get the right shape. Because it'd be easy to, you know, miss a couple of blocks here and there at the bottom, and then suddenly the bottom of the head will look really flat for some weird reason, and we're trying to keep a nice circular shape. Just like with the other couple of clubhouses that I've made. So, just going to add all of this in here, and then we will be done. Why do I feel as though I'm adding more rows to the back? This seems like it's taking forever. I don't think I've actually applied any black concrete on this side, that's why. I thought I was adding 4 rows to the back, which would be a bit of a disaster, but we'd be able to shave it off. No problem. So, perfect. So now we have a 7-row thick circle, kind of reminds me of a magnifying glass for some reason. All the unknowns from Pokemon Gold and Silver, and we want to have something which should look like this. The way that we're going to build up the face shape is very, very simple. Let me show you. We take the circle shape that we have on the front and the back, and we add a row of black concrete that sits outside from this and connects together at the corners. We simply place 1 layer of black just coming out from this, connecting together at the corners, and that's all you've got to do. Just joins around like this. It might feel a bit weird doing it, it might look a little bit strange to you perhaps, but all that you gotta do is just place a layer of black, it just snakes around. We use the shape that we've already got, we don't have to count anything out, which is really, really important because nobody wants to do that. You don't want to do loads and loads of counting and stuff, and you just have to use the shape that you've already got. And you'll see that you'll slightly shrink the shape, but it's coming towards you, and it is slowly being turned into that big, recognizable mouse head shape. So that's what it'll look like once you've done it once. We have to do this 2 more times. So we only do this 3 times in total to the front and the back. So again, you know, you just want to add one extra layer of black concrete just going around the inside. Do remember, you've done this once. Let's do it just 2 more times now. So the last layer, once we have done this, and by the way, it gets faster every layer you do, because as a consequence of shrinking it, of course it gets smaller, which means less blocks, which means less moving, which means I'm happy. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty happy to be building this. I really like this build. So you see, you'll eventually reach the second layer, and it'll have a shape that looks very, very, very much like this. And then just to finish this off, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill this block in here at the bottom so that it matches a little bit better like that. So now we've got an even shape all the way around. And I'm going to place a layer of black concrete that just sits directly in front of all of the empty space. And we don't want the black concrete to touch any of the other black concrete. So it just wants to be a very specific, certain shape. If you change the shape, it's going to look strange. And yeah, this is what we're going for. So let's just add all of this in. We'll add it to the right side, and you'll be able to see. There you go. You've got like a half moon shape now. And we'll just apply this to the other side. Unfortunately, there's really not too much more to say. It's quite simple to do. The way that we've got it all laid out here, so there we go. That is the front of the head, and now that we have done that, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to come to the back of the head, and we're going to do the same thing. So, just to remind you, we add 3 layers of black concrete, like coming out and inside. It connects at the corners, it doesn't touch anything else. And after we have done those 3 layers, the third layer is simply just you fill the middle part in, and that is all you've got to do. So I'm just going to speed this up ever so slightly, ladies and gentlemen, just to reduce the video time. I don't want you guys to have to sit and watch this and listen to me babble about nothing. So I'm just going to increase the speed of this a little bit, maybe turn up the music a little bit. I'd suggest you put some of your own on and just kind of enjoy filling it in, because it's kind of a peaceful process. So let's do it. After you've added in the second layer, I just want to remind you to add in an extra black block just right at the bottom here, and that'll balance out the shape from top to bottom. Now, once you have done that on the back and the front, you should have a nice clear canvas to work on. So this actually looks a little bit creepy. It looks a little bit creepy without the added details. Don't worry, we're gonna make it look great. So, what does a mouse have? Obviously has nice big round frisbee-like ears. So once you've completed that, and feel free to pause the video if you have to, I did speed that up a little bit. I now want you to come all the way up to the top of the head. Okay? So I want you to actually, you know what? It's actually better to come like to the side of the head. Alright? So I want you to come to the side of the head on the left side, and I want you to locate this block right here. Specifically, we're right in the middle. This black block right here in the middle of the side. From this block, place 3 black concrete coming out. 1, 2, 3. I then want you to place an upper left diagonal with the black. Go left 1, place an up left diagonal. Go up 1, place an up left diagonal. Go up by 2, place an up right diagonal. Go up by 1, place an up right diagonal. Right 1, up right diagonal. Right 2, place a bottom right diagonal. Go right by 1, place a bottom right diagonal. Go down by 1, place a bottom right diagonal, and connect down 2 blocks. That is the shape that you're going to get, and you can see it's quite a nice shape. It sits there perfectly. I want you to do the same on the opposite side. So we come all the way to the opposite side here. We take this black concrete block, specifically this one. I'm sure you guys will find it. You guys will find it, right? And I want you to take this block and place 3 coming out from it. 1, 2, 3. Place an upright diagonal with a black concrete. Go right 1. Place an upright diagonal and 1 on top. Place an upright diagonal, 2 on top. Place an up left diagonal, 1 on top. Up left diagonal, left 1. Up left diagonal, left 2. Bottom left diagonal, left 1. Bottom left diagonal, down 1. Bottom left diagonal, connect down. So, we want to have something which should look exactly like this. And all we've got to do to make those ears pop is we have to add a layer of black concrete in the front and behind them. Okay? So, black concrete just directly in front of this. We add a layer coming behind, so the ears are only 3 rows thick without any additional layers. That's about half as thick, a little bit more than half as thick as the lower part of the head. There we go. So we just add 2 layers like that, right? And then we're going to use some black concrete to fill in the outer parts of the ears. Okay, so if you just can see, I just want you to just 1 row outside of the ears, fill in the empty space just inside like this. So I want you to add in a layer of black concrete just inside like this. That's on the front, just like that. Nice and easy. And the same on the back. And that's all you've got to do for the ears. There's pretty much nothing else to it. It's quite simple, really. So there we go. That is what an ear will look like. You add a layer front and back, and then you add a final layer. It sits directly inside the empty space, and it just looks like an ear. It's perfect. And you want to do this on the opposite side, of course. So on this side, you'll just add a layer of black just coming out from this. Bloop, boop, 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 boop. Just like that. That's the front. We'll add 1 to the back. And once we have added a layer, we will add just a final layer just to cover up all of the empty space. You don't have to go crazy complicated with this. You add a layer front and back so it's 3 rows thick, and then add your black concrete just to fill in the empty space. And you'll be glad to know that after we have done the ears, which we've, kind of almost done, we only have one little bit of detail left to do for the head. And then after that, there's only one more thing to do. And then we can talk about the land and stuff, because actually, I mean, the clubhouse does look loads better if you put a huge circle around it, which is yellow. And yeah, honestly, it does really improve the look of the clubhouse. But that is completely up to you. So we have a few tasks left to do, but the head is a daunting one because it's so big. And there's so many things to do on the head. Mickey's a little bit easier himself because he doesn't have any headgear on. But once you have placed both of those, you know we're looking quite good. What separates Minnie, other than, you know, a few things, from Mickey, is the fact that she wears a large bow on the top of her head. Okay? So we're going to make that bow. And I want you to begin by grabbing pink concrete. Okay, this is where we position the bow. We're on the front of the head, and we are here. Right here, yeah? You guys see it? This block? Place a pink concrete. Go left of it by 2. 1, 2. Place a pink concrete block on the second block and the first. Go up by 2. 1, 2. Specifically, place 2 up left diagonals. 1, 2. Go up by 2. 1, 2. Go right by 3. 1, 2, 3. Place 2 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2. Go down by 2. 1, 2. I then want you to place 2 bottom right diagonals. So 1 will be here, 2 will be here right in the middle of the head. I want you to place 2 up right diagonals. 1, 2. Go up by 1, 2. Place 2 up right diagonals. 1, 2. Right by 3. 1, 2, 3. I want you to go down by 2. 1, 2. Place 2 bottom left diagonals. 1, 2. Go down by 3. 1, 2. Oh, hang on. 2, 3. Extend the bottom 2 blocks to the right each by 1. And then take the bottom block and extend left 1. So we'll have something which should look exactly like this, right? Which is cool. I then want you to use your pink concrete, and that is kind of a cool shape, right? I want you to place your pink concrete, and I want you to have a layer of pink concrete. It sits in between. It sits in front of this layer of black at the bottom, right? And then we kind of want to fill in the empty space left by the bow, just in the middle, just like this, right? So we just want to fill in all of the empty space, just like this. So there's like contrast for comparison, left and right. And then we want to do the same on the right as well. So we're just going to fill in all of this empty space, just like that. There we go. So that is the bow on the front. It looks pretty good like that. The only thing that we're missing is right in the middle. I want you to, right in the middle at the bottom, right here, place a white concrete. Place a pink underneath, left, right, up, and then on top of this block, on top of the white block, you place a pink. Just like that. And you can even connect it back to the middle if you like. And that is what the bow will look like. If you want the bow to look a bit nicer, you'll place some white concretes in some choice places. So like you'll knock out some of the pink and you'll make it all nice and speckled, just as the rest of Minnie Mouse is. So again, it kind of up to you. I'm going to balance it out as well. I'm going to make it symmetrical, but you know, about 3 white dots on either side looks quite good. And then all one would have to do is on the back, just fill in the empty space left, just 1 row outwards, just to make it nice and 3D. That's all you gotta do. And I think I just, placed 1 block wrong. You don't want to overlap blocks at all. You just want to have this, and you want the same on the opposite side. No overlapping, nothing like that. We just want to fill in all of this empty space. And that will be pretty good. And you'll be able to see, I mean, it makes a huge difference, right? Doesn't that look way better? It's crazy how much of a difference that makes. Anyways, once you have done that, ladies and gentlemen, again, hats off to you. Well done. Ribbons off to you. I'm very, very proud of you. that's a huge accomplishment complete. But we have just one thing left to do now, and that is the slide. So there is a slide that lets you get out of the clubhouse, or potentially in. It depends how good you are at parkour. I want you to come all the way to the back of the clubhouse. The slide is an even number, which means it doesn't sit in the middle of the clubhouse. It's specifically an even number, so it looks bigger. Okay? And I'm going to take, on the back of the clubhouse, I'm going to take this block right here, like 1, 2, this block here. I'm going to place 8 purple concrete. And I'm going to place 1 on top, up left diagonal, left 1, bottom left diagonal, down 1, extend it all towards you, like this, place a layer of purple concrete that connects at the bottom like that, destroy into the clubhouse, so now you can kind of see how you would get in and out, and from this here, we are going to map out the slide, okay? So we're actually going to do it using this side of the slide, this one that's closer to this left side. I want you to extend it a couple of rows back, literally 2, 1, 2, just that side of the slide. We're then going to extend to the right, so we need to extend to the right about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 blocks. 9 actually. The reason being is we do want to extend it this far so that we can then extend forward, and it wants to connect diagonally to the corner of the slide, the corner of the clubhouse like this, and you can just extend it this far. So like it connects together to the clubhouse. That's how far you've got to extend it, and we want to extend both blocks. I hope that I'm not being, I hope that the instructions are clear here. Like you want to extend it back a few blocks, extend it to the right, as far right as you have to go, so that it will connect on the sides like that. And then you can make the same shape on this end as you did on that end, which means you can place a couple of blocks underneath diagonally, a couple of blocks coming across the top diagonally, and a couple of blocks connecting the top to the bottom like this. And then all you would have to do is extend those top blocks along and inside the top of the slide like this, coming towards the back. You do the same with the other block that is at the top, like this. You do the same with the bottom blocks, and to make the slide a little bit less square and stuff, you can alter this as we go along, but just extend all of these backwards. And this is such an easy way to make a slide. You can make a water slide in a similar fashion, by the way. You can literally do it in a very similar way, except you just have to add water to it. But yeah, you can just extend it around like this, just like that, and that all connects together in a nice long tube. On the corners, the outer corner specifically, you can even knock off like the corner blocks just to kind of round it a little bit. You can't do the same with the inside corners because you kind of need those. But yeah, that's how the water slide, or the slide I should say, just ends up looking. And then all we have to do is we just have to place underneath the bottom a couple of rows of like 2 or 3 purple concretes coming down and towards the front. Just coming like down towards the ground like that, if that makes sense. So all you have to do is like place 4 rows of 3 purple concrete coming down towards the front, and then you just do a similar thing. You make the rows 2 rows thick. So now we've kind of got the bottom of the slide kind of like planned out. The way that we're going to make this really, really easy is we are just going to add sides to the slide, right? We're going to add sides to the slide, an up left and an up right purple block diagonal. And we're just going to add this to the side, right? Just a single row of purple concrete coming up and back along the shape of the slide. We're not going to enclose it at all, because then it'll start looking a little bit weird, and we'll have something which should look like that, and it actually looks a little bit better like that, right? So you can see that we have the end of the slide. You don't have to fill in the top at all, and it just comes all the way down like this. And this is what we should kind of like be left with. You should see how the slide connects together. It's like right on the end of the boundary. And you can move up and down and around the inside of the slide like this. And you can, of course, pop out now the front. That was a very quick journey, actually. I'm kind of surprised. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is the clubhouse pretty much complete. There's just a few things that you might want to do. So all I'm going to suggest is that you add a boundary around the clubhouse. Okay? So this is how I would do it. You can do this how you like, okay? So I'm going to grab my yellow concrete and I'm going to come all the way to the right side. So this is where the entrance is. I'm going to decide that I want about 5 rows clearance from the entrance of the clubhouse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to place a yellow concrete on the side here. I'm going to extend this yellow concrete row forwards to level it where the front of the clubhouse is. And I'm going to take this yellow concrete row and I'm going to extend it backwards so that it's kind of level with where the back of the clubhouse is, like this. I'm going to do the same on the opposite side. So I'm going to find the middle, and where the end of the slide is, which is about here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to place a yellow concrete on the end. I'm going to extend the yellow concrete all the way forwards and all the way back to match the clubhouse. So you'll be able to see from an aerial view how this ends up looking, okay? Now, all we've got to decide is how to connect these together. So what you do to one side, you do to another side. I'm going to take the front yellow concrete here and I'm going to place a bottom right diagonal, move it forwards. A bottom right diagonal, move it forwards. Bottom right diagonal, another, move right. Bottom right diagonal, move right. Bottom right diagonal, that's going to be the last one, so we can extend that all the way back. So if you can kind of see it, I'm just creating like an oval shape like this, right? And I want to do the same on the opposite side. So here, I'll place a bottom left diagonal, down one. Bottom left diagonal, down one. Bottom left diagonal, another one, go left, another one, go left, another one, go as far left as you like, you know? And I'm not going to connect them together in the middle. This is going to be the entrance right here. And this is for those of you that just want to add this around your clubhouse. You don't have to. It's absolutely not mandatory. It just looks better. And we do the same on the back. So all we do on the back is like back left diagonal, down. Bottom left diagonal, down. Bottom left diagonal, another one, left. Bottom left diagonal, left. Bottom left diagonal. We copy what we did on that opposite side, basically. So like 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, all the way across. And that's all. And by the way, if you want to make circles and stuff, or ovals, round shapes, that's the easiest way to do it. Unless you use like a program, which you can use like circle pixel art calculators online. Easiest way other than that is simply, you find the lines, you find the space between them, and then you just connect them together gradually using diagonals just like that. And that's all you've got to do, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dig out all that grass, I'm going to fill it in with lime terracotta, and then we're going to see what this beautiful build looks like once it's been 100% fully completed back in a moment. So this is what the clubhouse will look like once it's been 100% fully completed, ladies and gentlemen. It was quite a task to build this, but I'm telling you, if you have this in your world, oh, is it gonna make an impression. You will see this thing from miles away. It's absolutely huge, and it's definitely impressive. And if you want to make Mickey's Clubhouse as well, I'll be leaving a link down below in the description and in the card system too. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out so much. You've got absolutely no idea. It's so crazy how much it helps. If you've made it all the way to the end right here, if you're listening to me talk, please share the video with a friend. Sharing is caring. And not only that, if you would like to see more things like this, if you want to see some more Disney builds, some more cartoon builds, some more fun builds, check out the card system and the description below. I'll specifically also leave a link to Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse as well, just in case you haven't made it. You might not have. So without any further ado, I'm going to leave you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Wee.